So it's finally happened. 44 and having sleep issues. I've always boasted on my podcast. I've always had all these other things happen to me since I turned 40 or close to 40, ranging from food allergies to environmental allergies, trouble putting on muscle mass, keeping body fat off, especially around the midsection. It's what everyone has problems with over 40, which is why I started this podcast. But I've never had a sleep issue, and now here it's come. A lot of the problems, I believe, stem from being on such low calories and trying to close in on the single digit body fat. Things aren't working right. My hormone levels are probably off just from not having enough calories, and I understand that. But once I reach my goal, I'll be upping all those things, and a lot of that will not be an issue. I was getting insomnia pretty much every night within the last month, having that mental burn, can't fall asleep, and after like an hour of trying, you know it's not going to happen. And then I reach into my drawer and grab some melatonin to help, which I don't want to have to do. But there was one other thing that I thought could be doing it, and I'll tell you what that is. So stay tuned. Real quick, is losing weight after 40 while still enjoying your social life a challenge? Well, you're not alone, because that's pretty much everybody. On the Over 40 Fitness Hacks podcast, I share insights from my 15 plus years as a personal trainer and gym owner, helping people like you strike the right balance. For those ready to take action, please sign up for my online personal training program on my website or through the link in the show notes. Together, we'll design a plan that fits your lifestyle and helps you achieve your goals without sacrificing the fun. And remember, everyone is different. We will find a program that works. First of all, I'm telling you this with all these issues with sleep, and I'm assuming my audience has already taken care of, using blackout shades, getting that circadian rhythm going, getting light in the morning, not watching so much TV or your iPad or your phone, at least not without having those special glasses that cuts out some of that light. And overall, when you start getting more fit and healthy and losing some weight and building more muscle mass, your hormone levels start getting into homeostasis. All these things are supposed to help you sleep. So let's assume that you've taken care of all that. You're not pounding caffeine past 1 p.m. That's kind of my thing. My second cup of coffee I have for the day, or it's a mushroom coffee, is done by 1:30. And I wasn't having problems until a couple months ago. I started attributing it to, okay, I'm really starting to lean out. It must be I just don't have the body fat. Whenever I was doing my longer fast, I couldn't last the 36-hour fast that I was doing once a month. I had to cut it down to 24-hour fasts. It's just, my body just has nothing to work with anymore. And I attribute to, okay, you feel like a little bit of a zombie during the day because you're leaning out, but I have a goal in mind. Once I hit 190, I'll switch the gears and start bulking back up. But about 4 weeks ago, it started getting really bad, where I was using melatonin, at least a half a kid's melatonin that I had saved from my daughter's stash, which I don't give to her anymore. And I was taking half of that. Maybe I didn't have it for a couple nights and it came back in, had another half, and then just like caffeine. You start building up a tolerance. I need the full gummy, 1.5, 2. This is getting out of control pretty much every night. I was really harping on trying to get that circadian rhythm and making sure to go out on a walk in the morning, blackout shades at night, screaming at my wife to keep her tablet away from me with that light, or at least do it in the other room. And then finally had the epiphany. I've been doing a lot of cardio, mostly treading water, which I do after my workout and after I eat. And then trampolining, because it's at home and it's a home-based workout. By the time I get home from all my activities, 4 p.m., my first thought is I need to have my second meal soon, which I have about 5 p.m. And I started really cranking up the trampoline, which is how I started getting more lean, just burning more calories, and it burns a lot of calories. Well, the problem is, and I've had people on my show talking about this, I know about it, but sometimes things slip your mind. And that is that working out late at night, especially at over 40, for most people, at least from the clients I've seen, is not good for sleep. And the reason for that is your cortisol levels go up when you're stressed or under physical stress. Your body needs time for the cortisol levels to drop. And working out at 6, 7 o'clock at night, I go to bed at 9:30 now, because I'm trying to make the most out of my Whoop tracker and get the best results. There's not enough time for my cortisol levels to drop far enough. And when I say drop, I mean, I'm probably barely getting to baseline of where my cortisol levels should be for the day, not to mention, your circadian rhythm and where your body's supposed to be when it's dark, which is supposed to be way lower. and that's affecting your natural melatonin ability to sleep. And sure enough, that was it. Because once I started pulling that time slot down to about 3:30, 4 p.m. and really just chilling out, going through the routine of not watching TV too late, playing on social media, and just doing all the other things that I was doing prior to bed that was working. Sure enough, my body literally in less than a week went right back to my original thing. In bed by 9:30, conked out by 10 p.m. every time, and back in the rhythm. So it's funny. I never had these problems in my 20s and 30s when I was working graveyard shifts at my job, coming home after pounding a couple beers with the boys, and then going to sleep at 3 a.m., crashed, felt great waking up at 10 a.m., and sometimes working out late at night at my job or even after the job at 24 Hour Fitness when I was going to that. But that's the thing. In your 20s and young 30s, you can get away with everything. That's not saying that it's good for you. So now, being over 40, being more health conscious, your body has less leeway for all these things. So, moral of the story is get your workouts done as early as possible, at least before 4 p.m. Give your body time to drop those cortisol levels, get in that circadian rhythm of the lights out, it's really dark. You start naturally building up your own melatonin levels. But since we're on this subject, just real quick, a lot of the stuff that people have told me over the years, and especially with people with like back problems like me, you're sleeping for 8, 9 hours, which you should be. That's a long time to be in that bed. That bed needs to be set up for success. So for someone like me, pillow top, pillow between my knees. If you don't have back problems, you probably don't have to worry about that. Getting a good pillow. Some people like those cervical neck pillows. Others like the big block. Depends on how you sleep. But if you don't feel refreshed in the morning, not just mentally, but physically, or if you're having kinks everywhere, you need to fix that. That cannot happen. That is just going to ruin the rest of everything we're trying to do. Any allergies, of course, take care of that. I've done episodes where I finally discovered I had mold behind my windowsill in my old house in Orange County. And God only knows how long I was dealing with that. And it was so hidden. Finally took care of that. Sleep was getting better. Making sure it's cold in your room. I mentioned the blackout shades, make it dark. Get the special glasses that cut out the blue light that emits from all our tablets and TVs. Before I go to bed, I start doing some diaphragmatic breathing, and you guys can YouTube that, but basically breathing through your nose, letting the air hit your throat, not up, and breathing through your belly, not letting your rib cage pop out. All that help builds up like some nitric oxide, which is just going to make everything work better, especially right before you go to sleep. I'm sure there is probably 30 other things that could be messing it up too. That's why I started this channel. The more, the better you can handle all these situations, feel the best you can. And when you feel the best you can over 40, looking the best will come with it. I promise you. So I think I'll wrap it up with that. Thanks for listening, and I'll check you out in the next one.